everybody. This is Eric Vierthaler. Sit down by the fire. I'm here with my next special guest. Please introduce yourself.
I am Jamie Langlands. I'm an actor, now recently become a director and producer. I've been acting for about 20 plus years. Now it's led me to making my own films myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I also want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here.
No problem, no problem, man. Like I said, it's good to be chatting with you today.
Oh, yeah, certainly. And it certainly is an honor to have you on here.
You're too kind, man. You're too kind.
Thank you. Yeah. So, what exactly got you started on your journey?
I mean, as an actor, it started like, in fact, it was over 20 years ago now. I mean, thinking back to kind of where it all began, like, I guess it was just like after I left school, I guess, and then I went on this kind of team building course. And then we were given a task to put on a show. And I really enjoyed it. And it kind of stemmed from there, really. And then I went to drama school. And then after drama school, I just started getting involved in some independent films, and these films kind of got bigger and bigger as throughout the years. And it sort of led me to here now because I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing it for a long time now. So I kind of feel like I need that new challenge, that new step, and to just try and do something other than acting, but still stay in that world of film, basically.
Nice, yeah, and honestly, there actually is quite a bit of people in the industry like who will do not just acting, but they'll do directing, producing, and even Louis Santer, who I had on the podcast, like who is Tigger in the second Winnie the Pooh horror movie. He even mentioned, I believe, for Pinocchio Unstrung, he even was one of the puppeteers.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with independent film, especially. You have to, everyone kind of mucks in and helps out in, not just the acting part of it, but if there's any other skills they can bring, they, actors or whoever are usually happy to bring their other skills to the production and do other things, other than just the role that they're originally kind of there for.
Yeah, and even for the original, even when John Carpenter made the original Halloween, John even said that yeah, there were multiple people like who played Michael Myers in the original Halloween. Well, like heck, during the opening scene of the point of view, John said that that actually was like uh, those hands actually belonged to Deborah Hill, like who actually was one of the script writers. So.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Yeah. It happens a lot. It happens a lot, that sort of stuff. It's kind of weird because logistically as well, making a film, it's not all what you see obviously on the screen. There's so much other stuff that goes into it. And when we were making The Cellar, there was times when the lead actress, again, there was shots where it wasn't her hands, and there was shots when it was a body double of her. So yeah, and obviously people don't see all this stuff.
Yeah, certainly. And then as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, indeed, the rest is history.
So would you say that there was one movie that really inspired you to get into acting and film?
Um, I don't know. I don't think that there was specifically one. I mean, the film that got me into horror films was probably The Exorcist. Um, I mean, that was my first sort of love of horror, is watching The Exorcist. Another film that I was obsessed with as a kid growing up was RoboCop. I used to love that film, RoboCop. So yeah, I'm going to say any film that kind of inspired me to get into acting, it was probably RoboCop, like many years ago when I was just, you know, uh, like 6 or 7 or however old I was.
Yeah, and I mean, knowing that it was The Exorcist, honestly, I definitely feel like that you made a pretty good choice.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that I mean, yeah, that film I watched when I was like, I think 8 or 9 or something like that. And yeah, it definitely left a lasting impression on me. Definitely.
Yeah, and especially at that young of an age.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, as a kid, I liked being scared, and now, even now, I like being scared as well.
So I'm assuming that you have seen the most recent one that they made a few years back.
Oh, Believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I did see that. I mean, I went into that film thinking it was going to be absolutely awful. Um, I don't think it was awful. I think it was not great. Um, but yeah, because I was went into that with very little expectation, I think that I was mm, a little bit pleased that it wasn't terrible. Like I say, it wasn't great, but you know, you're not never going to be like the original film.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, any sequel or reboot that they make, it's always going to be a billion times better than The Exorcist 2.
Oh, The Exorcist 2, yeah. You know that film. I mean, I can't even remember that film. So I mean, I've definitely watched it, but the fact I can't even remember it is, yeah, says everything. I can remember third Exorcist film. That wasn't bad actually. The third one, that weren't too bad. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I also thought that the fourth one also wasn't too bad. But I mean, it depends upon which version, since that they made more than one version of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. After the third one, I keep going back and forth. I mean, there was the Exorcist, the beginning, wasn't there? That
There
um,
was, yeah.
yeah, I can't remember too much about that, but yeah, after then it gets a bit all kind of muddled up, and it's like the Halloween films as well. Like, there's so many different um, worlds now because you got the Rob Zombie one as well, and then you got the original ones, and then you got the remakes, and yeah, they all kind of get muddled up after a while.
Yeah, and I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre also has that same problem, like where there's so many timelines. So pretty much
Yeah,
that and Exorcist, Halloween, and a lot of those franchises, it pretty much has become a choose your own adventure kind of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Friday the 13th as well. You know, I thought they could just literally keep on carrying that going on one timeline, but then they kind of done a remake of it a few years back, I think, and then yeah, it kind of starts all over again.
Yeah, and I've heard some people try to justify where the reboot pretty much could have been argued like as part 12, just as long as you take out the whole thing about how he gets his hockey mask in a different way.
Mm,
Other than that, people have argued that, yeah, you could argue that it is part 12.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of a weird one. It's kind of a weird one because then yeah, there's a hockey mask bit, and obviously he starts with the bag on his head, like you know when he first started out. Um, so yeah, it's this is what I mean. It kind of gets all muddled up, and you after a while you don't know where you are anymore.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, and I mean, say what you want about the movie itself, but I definitely thought that that was a really cool route that they took.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because they did. Because yeah, when was that released? It was actually a while ago now, I think, wasn't it?
2009, and holy crap, that was 16 years ago.
Yeah, see, it feels like only a few years ago, but yeah, 2009. Like wow, yeah, just yeah, time flies.
Yeah, holy crap. I was a freshman in high school when the movie came out. So wow, holy crap.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's weird thinking about it. Yeah, because you think back to the originals, which are like, you know, early 80s. Um, then you think, yeah, these films were made like, years ago. But then you think about again the remakes. Again, the remakes now they're made years ago as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really is crazy, huh?
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna be doing remakes of remakes soon.
Yeah, and then of course years will go by and they'll do another remake and another remake
Yeah,
and
they just
you
keep
know
on going.
it's like a never-ending cycle of remake after remake.
It just keeps. That's what I kind of liked about Friday the 13th because it's like this guy can never die, whatever happens. He just keeps coming back, and they just find ways to bring him back. And I kind of liked that because it just, again, it's like never ending, and it doesn't have to be a remake because you can just keep going and going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so yeah, and so you were mentioning about how you are making your own horror film.
Yeah, so I made the Cellar last year, which is a psychological horror film, and that's been released in certain territories in Europe, and it's weird because it's like it seems like the last place that film is going to be released is in the UK and America, like it's out in Spain, Scandinavia, Korea, um, maybe a couple of other territories. So it seems like America and the UK. It seems like that's the last place it's actually going to be released.
So when it came to you making that movie, what exactly was the inspiration?
So I had the main inspiration for me was Resident Evil, the PlayStation game, like the original PlayStation game, where you had, um, that obviously I wanted to bring that the whole immersion to it, make it immersive. So yeah, that was the main inspiration because as a kid I used to play that, and that game used to scare the hell out of me. And it's something that's always stuck with me, that game. So yeah, Resident Evil was the main inspiration for me. It's like you're following the main character through all these tunnels, through this mansion. Um, so yeah, that was the main inspiration for that film.
Nice, nice, and yeah, so so how exactly was your experience like to make that movie?
Yeah, I mean, going in, I was a bit apprehensive. It was the first feature film that I'd written, produced, and directed. Um, After a couple of days shooting, kind of felt like I found my feet a little bit. And throughout the majority of that film, it's pretty smooth sailing. Um, I kind of planned it out so it didn't have a massive cast, and I had all the locations in mind, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Um, so it kind of worked out quite well. I kind of planned it quite well, and there wasn't really any or two. I mean, there was a couple of little issues, which there always will be. But yeah, fortunately, there wasn't anything that kind of made me pull my hair out or anything like that, which was great because it made me want to carry on making films.
Cool, cool, and yeah, and so if anybody were to want to watch that movie, where exactly could they go watch it at?
Well, we've got a limited edition Blu-ray and DVD available through our website, which is thecellarhorror.com. And it's also come into DVD as well on the 25th of this month, I believe it is, um, throughout Europe, though. So I think it's only region 2, so I don't think it's available in America yet at all. So, like I say, like America is probably the last place it's going to actually be released because it's out in Spain and Holland and Scandinavia. Um, so yeah, it's kind of out around Europe. But yeah, not in the UK yet, apart from the special edition uh, Blu-rays and DVDs. But yeah, when it comes to streaming, it's not out in America or the UK yet. But next month, next month.
Well, awesome. Well, I certainly definitely would love to go to check it out.
Yeah, yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely, by all means. Yeah, like I said, Blu-rays, DVDs are available. I think we've got about 25 left. So they are a very limited amount that we're actually selling ourselves. Um, but yeah, it'll be out, like I say, throughout America, um, like next month.
Awesome, awesome. But yeah, and I mean, it's definitely nice to know that there definitely are still people like who will buy, the physical media like on Blu-ray and all that because, as nice as it is to have streaming services, to help save space, it's just there's just a certain charm about having a physical copy.
Oh, absolutely, there really is. To have your own copy that you own. If it's on a streaming platform, and it gets taken off of that streaming platform, like I think even if you download it and it gets taken off, I think you lose it. I believe with some of them, some of the streaming platforms. So yeah, you've got like no control. Like you know, you, if you have a physical copy, you've got it. It's yours. It's not going anywhere. And I think a
Yeah,
lot of
exactly.
a lot of horror
And yeah,
fans
and that's the
realize.
really crappy part about having a movie on a streaming service is that for some you have to pay per month, and there are some services that only will have, so and so movie, and then if you're in the mood to watch so and so movie, you then have to pay for a subscription.
Yeah,
When it would be nice to just pay for the movie just at one time, and excuse me, and then just have it forever. But yeah, and then even worse is that they won't always have that movie on there forever. They'll then take it off, and then if you're in the mood to watch it, well, too bad.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I've been in that boat before where I've watched the film. And then like a few years later, I'd be like, oh, I want to watch that film again. That was really good. Like, where did I watch it? Where was it? Oh, it was on Netflix. You go to Netflix, it's not there anymore. It's gone. And then you have to search for it. Is it on Amazon? Is it here, there? So you're like looking around for it. But yeah, as if you got a physical copy, you know exactly where it is, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and a lot of people who have argued on the physical media side, yeah, they always will use that as an argument. And yeah, and it's definitely one of the most powerful arguments for physical media that I am all for. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And also the special features, the making of and everything like that. I've some of the DVDs and Blu-rays I have, like some of the special features on them are like, really, really great, especially with some of the horror films. Like there's whole like documentaries on I think it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they have like a whole documentary on Ed Gein on there. So all these kind of special features they have, some of them are like really good.
oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, and one of the things I really miss about DVDs, especially back during like the early 2000s, I especially love the DVD menus.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. All the artwork and everything. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's just, the artwork and the menus, they just aren't what they once were.
No, I mean, luckily there is a lot of I find horror fans out there that do love having the physical copy of the film. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so yeah, and just a lot of menus now, they're just so lazy.
Yeah, like play movie and trailer and yeah,
Yeah, and then rather than having like these cool menus, they actually will just play clips from the actual movie. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had some, some of the DVDs, etc. I've got, they've have like all the behind the, loads of behind the scenes photos, like the still galleries and everything. So you can flip through all of these, and it's really interesting. But yeah, they have, they certainly used to have like so much on there where you could spend like there was like some of them have like 8 hours of special features, like some of the DVDs and that I have.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, and also a lot of the features now, like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, it's really, really short. It's a little bit too short if you were to ask me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of the special editions of Blu-rays, like some of the classic films that come out, on special edition. Um, some of the special features on there, like I say, there's like hours, and like they have so much. And yeah, you have like the movie that's like an hour and a half. And then yeah, all the special features, like I say, add up to like 8 hours, 8, 9 hours.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so yeah, and but yeah, and I mean, just keep my fingers crossed, hoping that DVDs and physical media like are not going to go out completely.
No, I mean, I don't think they will. I think it will become kind of like a cool like retro thing. Um, I mean, it'd be cool to see like more video shops around as well. But I think maybe like record, like you got record shops that have vinyl and everything. It'd be good to see some more like DVD shops. I kind of have seen some like VHS still. I've seen some of those shops still around. It's like a cool little retro thing. It's just quite cool.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, wow, VHS. Talk about blast from the past, right?
I know, right? Exactly, exactly. But yeah, like all the kind of old school stuff. Like I'm quite lucky because where I live, there's so many like independent cinemas, like old school style cinemas. Um, I mean, I think we have in where I'm from, Worthing, we have the Dome Cinema, which I think is, I think it's the oldest cinema in England, and it's right, literally a few miles from me. So having that on my doorstep's great, and also in Brighton, not so far from where I live. I think there's another cinema, a really really old cinema again that's been around for decades. So yeah, they're still there, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, one of the things that's also helping to preserve physical media is that sometimes for like the streaming version, well, like in the case of 13 Reasons Why, they actually will have the censored version on there, but you will have people curious about the uncensored version, and they can only get the uncensored version on physical media.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like to see that because yeah, again, like you see a lot of films, especially like indie films on like YouTube, and they have to, they bleep out the bad language, and they have to cut out certain shots where there's too much blood. Um, but yeah, I see that a lot on these kind of YouTube channels where you're watching a film and they're cutting scenes and even scenes. They're bleeping out bad language, and yeah, obviously that's not the way you want to kind of watch a film when it's so heavily censored.
Yeah, definitely. And so yeah, and I mean, it's just crazy just how much film has evolved, and it is crazy to even see how much it's evolved even within our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like in two minds. Do I want to go back to the way it was like 30 years ago, where you had like cinema and like DVD or VHS? Or do I want to have this? whole variety of option like right in front of me with all these streaming platforms. And I don't know, there was like a real kind of nice feeling about going to like a blockbuster or somewhere, and having that moment of choosing a film. There's something really great about that, and obviously going to the cinema and going to watch a film. But yeah, I'm not sure now. I'm not sure if I'd want it to be that way or not. I'm kind of in two minds.
Right, but yeah, but definitely in my own opinion, I have a feeling that you probably will agree, and a lot of people will agree as well. If you want the true experience of watching a movie, seeing it on the big screen definitely is the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. With the lights down, the big screen, you've got the surround sound going on. You're kind of just there with the film. No kind of distractions going on around you. Because yeah, that's the trouble these days. Obviously, your phone is like it's when it's constantly going off. It's really hard to just sit through a film at home, and have no distractions going on around you. It's really difficult to do that these days. I can't recall a time when I've just sat down for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just watched a film, without looking at my phone, throughout the film.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so yeah, and then there's even been talks of people who have been trying to argue, oh well, the movie theater's dying because of COVID. And yeah, I can see where they're coming from, but yet there have been movies like Barbie and
Yeah.
Oppenheimer and heck, even Spider-Man No Way Home, which made a lot of money at the box office. And so yeah, so I definitely don't think it's dying out. It's just I just think that maybe if they were to lower the prices of like the tickets or just come up with any sort of business strategy, just to get people to come back to the theater, I definitely feel like that it's possible.
Yeah, I do because people. I think they know that to really get that escapism, they need to go to the cinema and watch a film. If anyone's like me, they can't sit at home and be completely watching that film with no distractions going on around them. I mean, I need to go to the cinema if I'm going to be completely there, with concentrating on that film. But yeah, I mean, I don't think cinema will die out. To be honest with you, I think looking at the last couple of years, um, yeah, I mean, in terms of the prices, I'm lucky because, like I said, with the Dome Cinema in Worthing, it's on certain days you can watch a film for like £4, with like $5 or something, which is great. And this is a cinema, like I said, it's been around for decades. It hasn't gone anywhere. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of hope that cinema will still be around for many years.
Oh yeah, definitely. And heck, and even, the good news for all of us, like who are in the indie film world, concerned that, the Terrifier movies made
Oh
money
yeah,
at the box office, and even the Winnie the Pooh
yeah.
horror movies even made some pretty good money at the box office. Even Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare even made some pretty good money. And so yeah, and so I mean, even the future for indie films, it definitely does look pretty good.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think people are getting a little bit bored with Hollywood because they just keep churning out the same sort of film time and time again. And obviously, they're kind of
Remake after
yeah,
remake.
yeah. I mean, people are going to get bored after a while with seeing like the ninth Superman film, or whatever. Um, with indie film, people aren't constricted as much as Hollywood. I don't think these days, with indie film, you can kind of come up with any story and do whatever you want to do. Um, you know, with Hollywood, I think their script writing in these days has sort of been watered down a little bit. Um, so yeah, I can certainly see indie film is, or certainly low budget. Maybe not micro budget films so much, but certainly like low budget at the higher end. Um, I can see that doing better than Hollywood films in some cases.
Yeah, yeah, like it's like saying that you're gonna eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for multiple amount of years. It's like, yeah, it might be fun for a while, but eventually it's gonna get old.
Yeah, I mean, I think after like maybe a third or fourth Marvel film, I was kind of done at that point. I was sort of like, I've kind of seen this now. You know, I don't need to see another 10 Marvel films. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, I always look for my go-to, of course, is horror films. So that's what I usually go to the cinema to watch is horror films. Um, I know, yeah, over the
Yeah,
last few years, there's been some really great horror films that have come out.
yeah, and people even will say that after a Avengers Endgame, like Endgame was like peak of the peak,
Mm,
and then and I mean, granted, there was Spider-Man No Way Home, which I thought was pretty good, but just it's just when you're at peak of the peak, it's gonna be hard to replicate that again.
yeah, go out at your best, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, ultimately, what matters is that they're doing their best, right?
Yeah, yeah. But they're like I say, anything that they think is going to make money, they carry on making the films that they think are going to make money.
Yeah, and and yeah, and yeah, and then I will never forget around when Avengers Endgame came out that there actually was like this live thing going around like showing just how much money Endgame was making. And yeah, and then comparing it to the money that Avatar made.
Mm,
And yeah, and people, including myself, like were hoping it was finally was going to be Avatar. And I at one point thought that okay, if any movie is going to compete with Avatar, I thought it would have been The Force Awakens. And yeah, and The Force Awakens it definitely made money, but it definitely didn't get to Avatar levels. And then
no,
finally, Endgame came out, and I was like, okay, maybe Endgame has that chance to, and then you know compete with Avatar, and then voila, and we finally had a movie that actually beat Avatar.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think it deserved to be Avatar, but there you go. Uh, I thought Avatar was great. Um, but yeah, but no, yeah, it did, of course, it did. And it's still the number one, is it? It's still the highest grossing.
No, there actually was a re-release of Avatar, and so therefore that actually got Avatar to actually beat Avengers Endgame, and
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
and so now because of that, Avatar is now the highest grossing film of all time yet again.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, just re-release it and then yeah, go back to the top again. Interesting.
Yep. And then of course when Avatar 2 came out The Way of Water, I mean, that one it did make money, but it still didn't beat the original movie.
No, yeah. See, I remember Avatar quite well, and of course, this is a film again. It's many years old now. Yeah. Um, but yeah, Avatar is a film that has stuck with me.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, there was so much hype about the original Avatar, and yet again, going back to Friday the 13th, came out the exact same year, just by a huge coincidence.
Oh well, there you go. I mean, I remember where I watched Avatar. I was actually on a film job, and it was actually an acting job promoting the View cinemas. And after the job, Avatar was playing, and they just let us stay in the cinema, which is where we were shooting, to watch Avatar. So I got to watch it for free basically when it came out. It's pretty cool.
Cool, cool. And so yeah, and so it's definitely nice to know that, it's definitely nice to know like that you do have that memory about the original Avatar.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably why I remember it so well because I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And yeah, and concerning ever since then with inflation, so so whichever you paid for amount of that time probably would be tripled now.
Yeah, Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that about does her. Is there anything else you are wanting my? Yeah, but are there any upcoming projects that you're doing that you would want my audience to be aware of?
Well, I directed the RIP Man. Of course, you had Owen on your podcast, who plays the RIP Man. So yeah, I think when you had him on, we were just starting to film that. But now we've wrapped that film, and now it's premiering in Worthing on the 7th of September, and also uh, the same day it's also premiering in America, in Pennsylvania, at the Emmaus Theatre in Pennsylvania. So yeah, that's the next film that I've done. It's going to be out there soon, and it's even got a release date, which is 5th of January next year. So yeah, we have a release date, very early on release date, which is great.
Awesome. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned Pennsylvania, since that I actually have a filmmaking friend who actually does reside there. So
Okay, okay. Well, yeah. If he wants to go to the premiere in Pennsylvania, then 7th of September. I'm not sure what time. I think it's like midday. I think they're screening at midday. Yeah, at the Emmaus Theatre, which one of the producers who lives in Pennsylvania, he's actually organising.
awesome. But yeah, I definitely will be sure to let him know. And yeah, and when the movie comes out, I definitely would love to have you and as many people on from the movie as possible. Possibly for like a live question and answer thing. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I could get some of the cast on. The writer could come on. Owen could come back on. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, we can work something there definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, you and I definitely will keep in touch. And yeah, and yeah, and thank you so much for and yeah, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here.
Yeah, no worries, worries, Eric. It's always good to talk to a fan of film,
Oh yeah.
and specifically horror films. So it's always great.
Oh yeah, certainly. But yeah, you have a fantastic day.
You too, man. I'll catch you soon. You take care now.
All right.